Hello everybody, I am Keaton and this is Kinetic Catholic Ministries, back with another video for season 15, episode 2. And guys, in case you haven't seen on our social media, we have launched the Faith in 5 podcast. Some of you may know the Faith in 5 is a show that I've been doing for years on Oklahoma Catholic Radio since my freshman year of high school. And we have now gotten it moved to, well, not moved, it will stay on the radio, but we are also creating it as a podcast. So you can find it anywhere you find podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music, anything. The link will be in the description. It's also linked all over my social media, so please do go check it out. It will be worth a listen with it's 6 different parts from one topic, all split up into 5 minutes. So I don't know about you guys, but if your attention span is not very great, it's good for just a quick listen, find out what the topic is, and then go about your day. And so I heavily suggest you go download it, check it out, share it with your friends and family. So what I will be talking about today, guys, as I'm sure you saw in the title and thumbnail, my 10 favorite churches in the world. Now, here's the thing. Regardless of if you watching this are Catholic or not, I think it is pretty non-controversial to say that Catholics have the most beautiful churches. Like, I'm sorry, I hate to show it off, but we do. We have fantastic churches. There's so much beauty and art. There's so much beauty there and everything. And so what I'll be ranking today is my 10 favorite. Now, a couple of rules for it to be on the list and things I'll be considering. Number 1, I have to have been to it. So if I haven't been to it, then it's cut off. Number 2, I will be accounting for my personal spiritual experience there, because again, this isn't like objectively best, this is my favorite, okay? And then I will also be accounting for the beauty, and kind of the what makes it important, why is it important, there as well. So let's get into it. Number 1, and I think that this is, when I just reference my favorite church in the world, I usually don't say this one, but this one is just, it has to go above every other one. And that's the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. It has the location of where Jesus was crucified. It has the tomb of Jesus Christ where he was raised from the dead. Like, can you match that with anything? Like, no other church stands a chance when you have right there, because it's actually a lot closer than people think. They are pretty close together, the place where Jesus was crucified and the place where he raised from the dead. It's just, I don't know how to estimate it, but it's not that far apart at all. And so it's all in the same building, and they're right next to each other. And it's really, really beautiful, and really, really spiritually impactful. There's just there's nothing else. There's nothing else that compares. Number 2 is, and this one is a little bit less known, Santa Croce in Jerusalem. And so this is a church in Rome. Even though it says in Jerusalem, it's the Holy Cross in Jerusalem is what it translates to. And basically, I think this is one of Rome's best kept secrets. I absolutely love this church. It's so spiritually impactful. Basically, you have the main church, and then obviously in Europe and in all these different places, there are a lot of different side chapels. It's a little less common in the U.S., but there are a lot of these different side chapels. And so you go off to one in this church to the left, and it's like in the back. It's a little bit hard to find. You have this glass case with all these amazing relics in it. It's the incorrupt finger. I'm not going to be able to list everything. I'll put up pictures, but it's the incorrupt finger of St. Thomas the Doubter, right? So that's a big story there. It's a nail that pierced the hand of Jesus. It's one of the beams of one of the crosses next to Jesus of one of the thieves. There's an actual piece of the cross. There's a thorn from the crown of thorns. There's the INRI sign that went above his head. There's so many beautiful things there. And off a little room to the side of that, there's the exact copy of the Shroud of Turin, which is the cloth that went over Jesus as he laid in the tomb, and then his imprints of his face and body are on it as he glowed. We don't entirely know what happened when he raised from the dead, but it did leave his mark on that shroud, and so there's an exact copy of it in the room next to it. It's a beautiful church, and while it's not its beauty that makes it stand out, like it's not the biggest in Rome, it's not the most beautiful in Rome, I would argue that it can easily be the most spiritually impactful for anybody who goes, because it's a little bit less popular. I mean, it's still popular, but it's a little bit less popular, and so you don't have as many of the tourist kind of vibes, a ton of people just crowding in there. That kind of, I hate to say ruins it, but could deteriorate the spiritual experience a little bit. There's still a very profound spiritual experience there. Number 3 is St. Peter's Basilica, which is in the Vatican, obviously. This one, like, is there much to say about it other than obviously? Like, it is the home of the Pope, the home of the Catholic Church, literally like the center of all things Catholic in the world in that one church, right? Like, it is the St. Peter's Basilica. Like, I don't know what else to say about it, honestly. Like, it's beautiful, obviously, but there's so much history there that, whenever you go on a tour there, there's just facts listed, and to the right are different burials, and everywhere is everything, and it's beautiful. It's a really, really amazing church, and it's a really, really profound experience to be able to go there. Number 4, and I'm realizing now, do typically top 10 lists go from 10 to 1? Because I'm going from 1 to 4, or 1 to 10, but I'm also really feeling it, so maybe we do things differently here. Number 4 is the Basilica of St. Anthony in Padua, Italy. This one is absolutely, like, astonishing. First of all, it's massive. It has the tomb of St. Anthony of Padua in it, which is really, really awesome. And then it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. You have the main church, and then there's basically a circle that goes around it that you can walk in, and there's a lot of spiritually profound stuff. There's a lot of relics of St. Anthony of Padua's in the back. And I think the reason why this is so high on the list is the fact that I had a really, really profound spiritual experience there. On my trip last summer. I talked about it a little bit in a video last year, if you want to go check that out, on the Italy trip. But it's an amazing thing. It is a very profound experience, and there's just so much to unpack there that makes it special. Number 5 is the Church of the Annunciation in Nazareth. Again, while it's not the prettiest, while it's not the most beautiful, the most architecturally amazing, I also had a deep spiritual experience there. It is the place where literally the Word was made flesh. So they have this altar under there because it's the old home of Mary, right? And so when the angel Gabriel came down to Mary and told her that she would bear the Savior of the world, she was to name him Jesus, that is when she then conceived Christ. And so there's an altar there that says the Word was made flesh here. And it says it in a different language, but there's something so profound about that, rather than just the Word was made flesh. The Word was made flesh here, right here. So it's built over the old home of Mary. And it's really, really spiritually impactful. And so that comes in at number 5. Little clarification point, everything below this any of these could easily be number 1. Like, genuinely. Like, they're all fantastic. I know that's kind of cliche to say in a top 10 list, but they're all really, really great. Number 6 is La Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. This one, I did not have any spiritual experience there at all. It's also not, which is why it wasn't higher. It's also not finished. But, oh my goodness gracious, it is the most beautiful church in the world. Like, there's no other church that matches its beauty, its architectural glory. It's just amazingness. Like, there's so much there. And then pictures are going up right now, but there's so much there that, oh my goodness gracious, guys. I don't even know how to describe it. It's the most beautiful church in the world. Like, if this were just a ranking of the top 10 most beautiful churches in the world, it would be number 1 easily. It is astounding. It is absolutely worth a visit, and it's truly amazing. Coming in at number 7 is the Duomo di Milano, the Duomo in Milan, right? The giant church there. And this one, okay, so there are some arguments that, like, putting ads on churches is bad, and I completely agree. It really irritates me whenever I see a giant ad on a church. And when I was there was a giant ad on the church, so it a little bit irritated me. Maybe that deteriorated my experience of it a little bit, but regardless, it's still a beautiful church. It's beautiful on the inside. We got to go up to the roof and kind of see a view of Milan. We did see a view of Milan from the outside. And it's from that high, and it's absolutely astoundingly gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. Coming in at number 8 is Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. This one, I think the reason why it's so low is because I was a little bit younger. I don't remember it all that well, and this was before the fire happened there also. But it's like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just the fact that it's so iconic and it's such a prominent cathedral within the Catholic Church, it is absolutely something that anybody could have a very profound spiritual experience there. The acoustics are amazing. I know that, like, I don't know if that's a huge deal to you, but it's astounding. And it's a really, really beautiful church. And so that comes in at number 8. Number 9 is St. Mark's Basilica in Venice. This is really, really cool. Venice, again, there's just water everywhere. And so you have the St. Mark's Basilica, a place where there isn't. And I just feel like it's a really pretty kind of set aside thing. The inside art is just absolutely beautiful with all the mosaics and everything. It's absolutely incredible. And definitely something to check out. And coming in at number 10 is the Cathedral of Santa Maria in Florence. Again, I didn't really have a spiritual experience there. Also didn't spend that much time inside, at least not that I can remember. And but we went on the roof of that place again, and then again got to see a view of Florence, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And it's absolutely gorgeous from the outside. It like matches everything around it. It is really, really a beautiful church. What are some of your guys' favorite churches that you've ever visited? Is there one that I left off that you're like, oh my goodness, Keaton, you need to hear about this church. This is the best church ever. Please leave it in the comments down below. Again, I think that it's fun. It's cool to talk about these types of things because we're lucky as Catholics. Not only do we have the truth in Jesus Christ, we have so much beauty and so much history and so many relics and wonderful things around us that absolutely deserve to be talked about. So now that the topic is done, do y'all know what it is time for? Now it's time for
the Saint of the Week.
And today's saint of the week is the one and only Saint Helena. Now, Saint Helena, why did I say it weird? Saint Helena, there's a lot about her. She is best known as obviously being the mother of Emperor Constantine, right? She's a 3rd to 4th century saint, being the mother of Emperor Constantine in the 4th century. And what's really, really cool is because Constantine was so influenced by her, she was responsible for kind of converting a lot of the ideologies towards Christians at the time. But perhaps what she is best known for is she went to the Holy Land. She traveled to the Holy Land in those places in the Middle East, and she had a lot of digging done, excavation. Why can't I think of the right word? It's not the right word. Anyway, she was trying to find the site of Jesus' death, of Jesus' resurrection. She ended up finding 3 crosses, and tradition has it that she brought a woman who was very, very sick, and the woman touched the first 2 crosses and nothing happened to her. But when she touched the 3rd, she was healed. And so St. Helena declared that the cross, the true cross of Jesus Christ. Because of her, we actually have the Church of the Holy Sepulchre built. Emperor Constantine had it built because of the influence of his mother. Now, it was destroyed and rebuilt a couple times throughout history, so it's not the same one. But it's at the same site. The reason that we have where Jesus died, the reason that we have the relics of the one true cross, right, in St. Croce in Jerusalem, that church which I was talking about. And the reason that we have the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in the first place is due to St. Helena. And so St. Helena did a lot for that, did a lot for early Christianity and getting this mindset toward relics in the first place going, right? And then the importance that relics have for us as Catholics. So St. Helena, pray for us. Before you guys click off this video, please click the red subscribe button down below. It really does help support the channel. If you are already subscribed, because it's free, then please share this channel and video with your friends and family. Make sure that they know about Kinetic. Also, please go to the website, kineticcatholicministries.com in general. There's so many awesome things you can do on there. Your very own Kinetic shop is up there. All sorts of different tabs. As well as, please do go check out the Faith and Five podcast. That's now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, really anywhere you listen to your podcast. So please do go check that out. That is also free. So a massive plus. Please check out all 3 of our social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The link to all 3 of those will be in the description down below. Please comment any saint or topic suggestions that you might have for future videos. I hope that you are having an absolutely wonderful week. Had a wonderful week last week. Have a wonderful week next week. As we're nearing the end of summer and kind of getting closer and closer to the school year, know that you are all in my prayers. And if you have any prayer requests, please do leave them in the comments down below. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Have an absolutely lovely rest of your day. God bless you guys. I will see you all next week. And hi, Brielle.